Testing. What's up, everybody? It is the Cowboys post-game show. The Cowboys fall in embarrassing fashion to the Buffalo Bills by a final score of 31-10. The Cowboys, once again, go into a showdown game on the road with a nationally televised audience, with the narrative being that the Cowboys can't beat a good team on the road. They go on the road once again, and they fall flat on their face. Final score, Bills 31, Cowboys 10. The Cowboys fall to 10-4 on the season. The Cowboys now fall to 3-4 on the road. The Bills improve to 8-6 on the season and 6-2 at home. The Bills are firmly in a playoff spot. The Bills needed that win very badly to stay in the AFC East race. They are trailing the Dolphins. The Cowboys needed to win simply because they're still trying to win the NFC East. They're still trying to keep pace with all the big dogs in the NFC. And they couldn't do it today. So if you have any thoughts and reactions, this is the Cowboys post-game show. I want you to get them in right now. What I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to kind of recap the game and some of the most important parts that I thought happened throughout this ass-kicking that Dallas suffered to Buffalo, and then I'll get to some of your comments. So I did take some extensive notes today, as you might have saw on my Facebook and Twitter. I like to take notes during the game. It helps me remember key moments. It helps me bring the details to you guys in these post-game formats that I do. So with that being said, Cowboys fall to the Bills 31-10. Let's go ahead and dive right into it. You know, from the very get-go, and we saw this all night long as the Bills just gashed the Cowboys for, up the middle on runs. Cook had an amazing game, but first possession of the game for the Bills, to open up the game, I could already sense the Cowboys were going to be soft in the run. The Bills were gashing them. The Bills were doing everything they could. The Bills had a nice long drive, and they get down. They score a touchdown to make it 7-0 on 12 plays and 75 yards. Dallas's first possession of the game, Dak Prescott had a big scramble, and he was hit by Tyler Rapp. Would have been 15 yards, but Zach Martin, with the unnecessary roughness penalty, negates the play, the penalty against Buffalo. Dallas, of course, has a big holding call from Tyler Smith later on in that drive, and they have to punt. Next, Dallas possession. Dak almost throws an interception. Possession number 2 for the Cowboys. The Cowboys have to punt again. Luckily for Cooks, he broke it up. Going to the Bills' third possession. Now, this is where things got interesting here, because Dallas looked like they stopped Buffalo. Dallas looked like they were going to force a punt, and they did. But then Sam Williams goes in untouched, leaves his feet, misses the punt completely on a punt block attempt, and then runs into the Buffalo punter. 15-yard penalty, extends the drive. That was the end of the first quarter. Bills were up 7-0. But later on in the drive, Allen finds James Cook on a corner route out of the backfield for a touchdown. Bills go up 14-0. Dallas seemed tense all night. Dallas looked like a team that was wary of the moment. They looked like a team that wasn't ready to capture the moment. And if you guys feel the same way, let me know out there. I'll get to your comments here momentarily. But just a quick aside, I thought Dallas looked timid. I thought Dallas at times looked scared of this game, of this moment, of the magnitude of this game. Those are just some of my observations. It looked like Dallas was timid and tense and just not ready for a big-time moment like this. If you agree, let me know. Next possession, Cowboys actually put together a decent drive. Tony Pollard looked really nice on the Cowboys' third possession. Dak, of course, he scrambled. It was another unnecessary roughness on the Bills by Tyrell Dodson, who hit Dak. So Cowboys in good position. Dak hit CeeDee on a deep corner to the Bills' 32-yard line on a 3rd and 4. Pollard inside draw run inside the Bills' 20. Pollard again on a draw inside the Bills' 10. Now, this is where I had a problem with what the Cowboys did. They went for a 3rd straight run on 2nd and 1 when the Bills were absolutely selling out on that run. They stopped Pollard for a loss of 3. It's 3rd and 4, and then the pass on 3rd and 4 from Dak gets tipped by Ed Oliver. This leads to a 32-yard Brandon Aubrey field goal. I thought 3 consecutive runs was a little bit interesting because the Cowboys could have probably ran some kind of play action and got some positive yards through the air, but that's a critical decision that Mike McCarthy made and one that I don't agree with. The Cowboys were driving. They had a chance for a response drive, but when you get 3 points, it's a little bit deflating. The air's let out of the balloon, so to speak. Bills possession number 4 in the second quarter. This was a big one because, first of all, there was a huge play that happened. It was a Diggs fumble that was not called on the field. Mike McCarthy, for whatever reason, chose not to challenge that play. Diggs fumbled cleanly. The Cowboys recovered the fumble. Referees didn't call it a fumble. I thought in that moment that Mike McCarthy might have challenged that play. Instead, Mike McCarthy kept his hands in his pocket, kept the flag in his pocket, and didn't challenge it. Puzzling decision for me on Mike McCarthy's part on why he did not challenge that Diggs fumble. That was a crucial moment in the game. Fast forward, it's a 3rd and 19 for the Buffalo Bills. And then Jaron Kearse is called for a personal foul. 15 yards to extend the drive. The Cowboys had 3 personal fouls, all in the first half, all to extend drives, all that led to Buffalo touchdowns. Some uncharacteristic just penalties and mistakes by this Dallas defense. Like I said, once again, they looked timid. They looked like they weren't ready for the moment. And I saw it, guys. Let me know if you see the same thing. Let me know if you see the same thing. Josh Allen has a huge run later on in that drive. The Bills are just bullying the Dallas defense. When they would show replays, ladies and gentlemen, of the Bills rushing attack, Bills had hat on hat. Bills were leaning on guys. Bills were pushing dudes out of the way. The Dallas front 7, reminiscent of Swiss cheese, reminiscent of saloon doors. Everybody got through, man. Holes everywhere, and the Bills exploited that. Josh Allen ends up scoring a touchdown on a quarterback sneak with 1:38 to go before the half. Bills go up 21-3. That was the score at the half. Bills 21-3. Cowboys only had 89 total yards at the half. Cowboys had 4 penalties, 3 personal fouls at the half. The Cowboys only had 6 freaking first downs at the half. Only 34 passing yards for the Cowboys at the half. And the time of possession was in favor of Buffalo, 18 minutes to 11 minutes. Cowboys got their asses kicked, period, point blank. And you could put the blame on the defense. You could put the blame on the offense. Both sides of the ball played like absolute dog ass, and they didn't show up, and it was evident. Fast forward, I'm not going to take too long on the game summary because it's pretty much over right here. Bills get the ball in the second half. It's their 5th possession of the game. The Cowboys, in their first possession, Dak gets sacked. They got a punt. Dak was under duress a lot. Credit to the Bills defense. They're playing that too high. They're playing some zone, and they were blanketing Cowboys receivers. Dak, once he hit that first, second step, look, no one there. Dak has to try and scramble, and Bills pass rush was getting home. Cowboys offensive line didn't play that great tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Zach Martin, injured. He's out. We got to see the severity on that. Did not hurt or did not help the situation that Martin left with an injury. So Dak is sacked on the Cowboys' first possession of the second half. And then the Bills go on a freaking stampede in their first possession of the second half, their 5th overall of the game. 8 minutes and 22 seconds off of the game clock, 15 plays, 65 yards. It results in a field goal from Bass for 23 yards. Bills go up 24-3, but they ran the ball 13 plays out of that drive and just really took the will out of the Dallas Cowboys. The Buffalo Bills went out there and just pretty much pummeled the Cowboys. They had their way with them. I haven't seen a team do this to the Cowboys in quite some time. And I think a stat came out during the game that, it's been a long time since the Cowboys have had a game like this. It was their largest deficit in 3 years at halftime. I believe in 2013, they gave up a crap ton of yards to Washington and Alfred Morris. It's been a long time since you've seen Dallas just absolutely get manhandled like this and whipped like this, as Coach Smith is saying. Thank you, Coach Smith. Cowboys, let's fast forward just a little bit. because James Cook got another touchdown on a 24-yard rush with 12:30 left in the fourth quarter. Essentially, it's 31-3, right? Ball game. We all know it's ball game. Next Cowboys possession, 4th and 5. Dak overthrows Brandon Cooks. It's intercepted by Benford, and that is where I stopped taking notes. As you can see right here, no more notes. It's over. So that's where I stopped taking notes at the Dak interception, 31-3. Cowboys get a touchdown at the end. CeeDee Lamb, all right, whatever. A little bit of garbage time points. It is what it is. But damn, overall, the Cowboys absolutely embarrassing. Just pathetic effort. It's a game that, as Cowboys fans, we would hope they could win a game like this because you just expect a lot better from them. This is their 3rd showdown game that they've lost on the road. Embarrassed in San Francisco, played a decently hard-fought game in Philadelphia, but they still shot themselves in the foot at the end of that game. Don't forget about that. When the Cowboys had the ball on the freaking 6-yard line, penalty, and then they ended up on the 30 or so yard line of Philadelphia with the game on the line. Don't forget that the Cowboys had follies in that game also. And then tonight, Cowboys just didn't even look like they were there. Cowboys just didn't even look like they were there. And I think that's the most disappointing thing as a Cowboys fan is that they just didn't show up. They just didn't show up. This was a dress rehearsal for a road playoff game in Philly, a dress rehearsal for a road playoff game in San Francisco, and that's how they performed. This is typical Dallas Cowboy football when you need them the most on the road in a big-time game, which the Cowboys did clinch a playoff spot today thanks to the Falcons losing. They backed their ways in because the Falcons lost and the Falcons suck, but the Cowboys, they're going to have to go on the road in the playoffs, and I'm not confident that they'll get it done on the road. Maybe they'll win the first round game. Anything after that, divisional round, my confidence ain't there with them. It's not there with them. Let's get to some of your comments because y'all guys have been waiting patiently. All right, let's go with Aiden. Love Aiden. He's my co-host of the Sunday Sports Rush. Aiden says he's selling all my Cowboy stock. They can finish the last 3 weeks with no losses. Still won't believe them. Okay, fair. Aiden selling his stock. Cowboys got at Miami next week, Christmas Eve, home against Detroit the following week, and then they also have their last game of the season at Washington. So I don't know. We'll see how they go. If you have any comments, make sure to get them in. Nick says definitely weren't ready. Yeah, they weren't, Nick. Nick also says Dak had no time in the pocket. I thought Dak had decent amount of time in the pocket. I thought Dak held on to the ball maybe a little bit too long, especially after his second step when he's looking to fire the ball away. No one was open. And, could Dak have maybe thrown the ball away in a couple of situations? Yeah, sure. But credit to the pass rush of the Buffalo Bills. They got it done. Let me go over some team stats here. The Bills had 351 total yards. Dallas 195. That's pathetic. If you get under 200 yards total offense, that's pathetic. Cowboys only had 14 first downs. The Bills had 28. Bills time of possession 35 to the Cowboys 24 minutes. Let's go. Cowboys 89 yards rushing. Cowboys 106 yards passing. Cowboys on third downs 5 of 13 efficiency. Not gonna cut it. The Cowboys gave up 266 rushing yards. And this is the thing about Dan Quinn's defense. And it's been this way. And if you've noticed and if you've paid attention, you know this is a weak spot because the Cowboys like to play small. The Cowboys personnel typically is more of they play a lot of nickel, they play a lot of dime. They like to bring an extra defensive back on the field at all times. So essentially you're taking off one linebacker and you're putting in a defensive back in that linebacker's place, which they're smaller guys, right? By nature, they're defensive backs. But whenever you play a lot of nickel, you play a lot of dime situations like Dan Quinn likes to do, you're susceptible to the run because big guys don't have to worry about another run-stuffing linebacker. They just got to worry about a defensive back that's in that spot. And, big guys love blocking little guys more so than not. So by proxy, Dan Quinn's defense is not tailor-made to stop the run. But tonight was just a pathetic effort. And the Bills were also 3 of 4 in the red zone. So the Cowboys couldn't get stops when they needed them. Bills were 5 of 9 on third downs. Cowboys couldn't get off the field. Cowboys forced a turnover, which wasn't technically a turnover because McCarthy didn't challenge the play. But yeah, nonetheless, that's where they're at. That's where they're at. If you got any comments, get them in. Matthew is in here. What's up, Matt? Matt says the Bills secondary was on point. Yeah, they were on point. Sean McDermott and that Bills defensive staff, that Bills coaching staff, period, they outcoached Mike McCarthy and Dan Quinn today. I mean, they whipped their ass. So credit to the Bills. Those guys get paid also, right? Those guys get paid also. Those guys are in a fight for the playoffs. And they kicked the Cowboys' ass up and down the field. So credit to them. Give some credit to the Buffalo freaking Bills. They whooped Dallas. Point blank, period. Got people in here. Ish says Heart Dolphin. Ish is a Dolphins fan. We'll see you guys next week, Ish. We'll see you guys next week. And you know what? Right now, after what I saw Miami do yesterday, without Tyreek Hill, I'm feeling a little wary about this game in Miami on Christmas Eve. Put it that way. If the Cowboys show up like this, it'll be another loss against the Dolphins. Marcus is in here. Marcos says the Cowboys need to go sign Ndamukong Suh. I mean, I guess, right? I mean, I don't know if they need to go sign him, but I guess it wouldn't hurt. Jonathan Hankins is out. Maybe that was a big reason why Mozzie Smith had to play in his place. Mozzie Smith did get a sack, by the way, which was pretty good. Fred's in here. Fred says Dallas Cowboys for life, win, lose, or tie. Yeah, sure, Fred. That's all nice. I like the catchy slogan, win, lose, or tie. But, hey, I want the Cowboys to win. And today was absolutely pathetic, man. Absolutely pathetic. Cowboys, 92 total yards after 3 quarters. 92 total yards after 3 quarters. The lowest since 2010 for the Cowboys. That's how bad this game was. That is how horrible this game was. I thought Dak Prescott lost the MVP today. Dak Prescott was firmly entrenched in MVP discussions as the MVP frontrunner. Nah, it's lost. You throw a goose egg like that on national TV on America's Game of the Week on the road when all your critics are watching to see if you could rise to the moment. It's not happening for Dak. It's done. MVP, it's out the door. That's going to hurt Dak Prescott severely in the MVP race. And look, Dak played like crap, man. I mean, 21 of 34, 134 yards, 1 interception. Not the best, dude. Not the best from Dak Prescott tonight. Not the best from everybody all the way around. Mark's in here. What's up, Mark? Mark says poor effort after having all the momentum y'all had after last 2 weeks. Yeah, poor effort. Poor effort. You beat the Seahawks at home on Thursday Night Football. You embarrassed the Eagles last week on Sunday Night Football. You lay a goose egg on the road against the Buffalo Bills. Poor effort. They didn't look like they were there, Mark. The Cowboys didn't look like they showed up. And that's the most concerning thing because they're going to need to show up on the road in the playoffs if they want to have any chance. That's just the bottom damn line about it. Andrew's in here. Going to go a couple more minutes, guys. A couple more minutes. Andrew's in here. He says, with the way James Cook ran against the Dallas defense, how do you think Dallas does against the combo of A-Chain and Mostert in Miami? Oh, Father, Son, Holy Spirit. Cowboys better learn how to tackle and fill some run gaps because the Dolphins, especially Mostert, 19 rushing touchdowns on the year. Raheem Mostert will put it on your ass if you're not prepared. So a lot of things to go over, of course. I'm not confident that Dallas will be able to stop Mostert or A-Chain. Not confident at all. No. They're going to have to try and contain them. That Miami offense is explosive. I mean, we'll see what happens with the status of Tyreek Hill, right? But Jalen Waddle went off yesterday. Tua, when he has time, I mean, he can dice you up. He could throw the deep ball pretty damn well. He's accurate. So, look, we'll worry about the Dolphins here in a couple of days, right? And while we try to process this loss. But come Christmas Eve, 3:30 in Miami, the Cowboys got a lot of freaking things to work on this week. And the run game in particular should be probably priority number 1. Let's see. Jen says it's December. We're right on schedule. Jen's my man. I love you, dude. And I know sometimes we go at it. But man, look,
we all want them to win, right? And it's unfortunate that they got a big-time loss here in Buffalo. So final score, Buffalo Bills 31, Dallas Cowboys 10. They failed to show up in another showdown game on the road. Now 0-3 in these big road games. Lost to San Francisco on the road. Lost to Philadelphia on the road. Now a loss to Buffalo on the road. Dallas is 10-4. They await the game tomorrow night. Eagles and Seahawks. We'll see what happens. We'll see if the Cowboys remain in first place or not. If the Eagles win, then the Cowboys are back in the wild card spot, back in that 5th wild card spot with a road game in the playoffs to come. So, pathetic effort. Going to wrap it up. Just total butt whooping. Offense looked like crap. Defense looked like crap. Mike McCarthy had his hands in his pocket when we needed him to throw a challenge flag. Penalties galore, 3 personal fouls, extending drives, can't tackle, can't wrap up, can't fill run gaps. Cowboys receivers not getting open, wet, rainy, whatever, no excuses. Cowboys got their asses kicked. So that's going to wrap up my post-game show. Make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel, Sports Rush Media, my radio show, Sports Rush, the Sunday Sports Rush on News Talk KEYS 1440 AM and 98.7 FM. Follow me on Twitter at Sir Edward James, Facebook, all that good stuff, baby. I'll be back. I'm going to do a show on Christmas Eve. I know some of you guys will be very busy on Christmas Eve. Even if it's just 5 minutes, I'll give my thoughts on the Cowboys because I've been doing this all season. Might as well continue it. All right. Thanks for watching. Thanks for commenting. You can still comment on this post even afterwards. I'll do my best to answer any kind of questions and give some takes for you guys. Bills 31, Cowboys 10. The Cowboys get embarrassed in Buffalo. That wraps up the postgame show. I'll talk to you guys later.